there's a lot of people I feel like, Blake, that are kind of hating on UFC 265. It seems like I don't want to be that guy, but it really seemed like the casuals came out to play for this. But man, this is a really good card. This is kind of like what we were saying going into this, is that it doesn't seem that loaded on paper necessarily, or maybe compared to some of the recent pay-per-views that we've gotten. But the fights that were strung together on Saturday night were fantastic and a great time. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just another good example of pretty solid matchmaking. I mean, just take a look top to bottom on the main card. I mean, every fight was pretty much hotly contested or just not even close to boring. So yeah, I definitely don't agree with any of the folks out there saying that it was lackluster. I thought it was spot on. Now, would I want to pay $70 for it? I don't know about that.
That's a different question.
But was it super entertaining? I think so. I had a great time watching it, top to bottom.
Yeah, really solid nights of fights, and it's a card where we finally got to see. I mean, it happened a while in the past, a good amount of times, but it hasn't really happened recently. But Jalen Johnson, hey, our co-host Jalen, he finally wins back his Suck My Pig championship. He actually bested the two of us, which was is probably the biggest underdog of the night. But gotta give him a little round of applause for that. So congrats, Jalen. All right, yes, Blake with one win, getting his title back, and then losing it the next card. But I guess it's all good, you know.
Michael Chiesa and Derek Lewis let me down.
Ooh, yeah, no, Michael Chiesa let me down a little bit too. But of course, we're going to have to get to that fight. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into things. Of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the AFL the UFC correspondent for Fourth Long. My show is confused. I apologize.
Put some respect on my name.
I know. I already messed it up, but it's okay, Blake. You want to know why it's okay? It's because
you're paying me money sometime?
I give you stuff occasionally.
Some SCG sups, free samples.
Hey, see, I hooked you up, though, didn't I? Don't say I don't try. Don't say I don't try. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. Before we get into UFC 265, just wanted to chat a couple of things. Of course, we want to keep going on the road, keep chugging to get Blake paid, as we just talked about. And you can do this by going on over to or patreon.com/fourthandlong to get started today. Starting at just $1 a month to get you a bunch of goodies, and it goes up $5 and to $10 tiers. And I mean, look inside. We say this every week, man. I would play In the Arms of Angels, but that would probably get us copyright struck on YouTube because they're bastards about that one. And I wouldn't sing it because I have a really awful voice. But just look, pay the man. I mean, you're all of you guys are making me look like UFC or Dana White right now, and Blake like a normal UFC fighter. This isn't a good look on me.
I need that 50 grand bonus.
God, you can't be like Cheyenne Bays, man. Cannot be like that. I think give my boy Blake something. Maybe that $5 bonus. Maybe hold off on the 50 G's for now.
Yes, we'll see what happens. Depends on the Patreon.
Exactly. So go on over there, and then also just put a new interview with, at least for me, a local fighter out of Idaho. He is undefeated, and he is already having a problem finding opponents to fight him. So he's had 8 people pull out of a fight already with him, and he's just a couple fights into his career. That is insane. So you can go on over fourthandlong.com/UFC to get hit up that interview right now. But Blake, it's time. UFC 265, and the way where we start every card breakdown that we do is by asking the question: did the bangers hit?
Absolutely,
they did, homie. You want to just run us down real quick, give a little recap of what you got right?
Yeah, we had Bobby Green and Fiziev. I mean, that was just an awesome fight. From the first round to the third round, they were just going hard, and it was very back and forth too. I mean, super even fight between those two guys.
Let's talk about the third round, but that's something we're going to get into here in a moment.
Definitely. Song Yadong and Casey Kenny. I mean, that I was really trying to decide between this fight and Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill, believe it or not. And really, I mean, I think I could have picked either one, and I would have had the same answer regardless. Like, both of those fights were bangers.
Yeah, I think either one hit.
Yeah, and then the final one that I picked, Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz, awesome fight too, I thought. I mean, Aldo looked super good.
Mm-hmm.
The leg kicks were back. I mean, he was just doing everything right in that fight. He looked like a top contender for sure.
Oh, hands down. I cannot wait to talk about that one. But first, let's get to our biggest or our big winners of the card. The first one I'll mention is Manuel Cape. Of course, he gets a big win over Ode Osborne. He gets that flying knee to land a huge knockout in his debut to the promotion. So that was extreme. I mean, what better way to make a first impression than with a flying knee, you know? Those are always fantastic. But the two biggest things I want to talk about here, Blake, before we get into the co-main event and the main event of the evening, let's talk about Vicente Luque. He has now won 10 of his last 11. He also passes Tony Ferguson for most stars chokes in UFC history. He now has 4. And he put on one hell of a showing. I mean, this fight against Michael Chiesa was like a 15 minutes worth of action compressed into less than 1 round. This thing was ridiculously fast-paced, and everything happened so quickly. I thought Chiesa had this fight all but won, but then Luque, I mean, he shows he's no slouch on the ground either. Hits a crazy reversal, and locks in the Dars, and, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fast-paced. It seemed like it only lasted 30 seconds in there. Really, it seemed like there was only 5 punches thrown too. I mean, I don't have the exact numbers. I have to pull those up, but it was surprising, man. I thought it was going to go a little bit longer than it did. Chiesa actually hit him with a really good strike that opened up Luque right under his eye. So I thought he might be able to take advantage of that at some point. But pretty much right after that strike, they moved right to the ground. And then from there, it was a little bit of back and forth until I think Chiesa had about 2 chokes locked in on the back, which was crazy. I thought he was sunk in a couple of times. And then Luque, like you said, did an amazing reversal and ended up getting him in the Dars.
I mean, what else do you want from that? That was just a lot of action there. And Blake, to your point, there was 14 total strikes landed in this one. 6 with Michael Chiesa and 8 with Vicente Luque.
So really, like in Vicente's last, I want to say, like 6 or 7 fights, I think he's only lost 1. And it was to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in November of 2019. Everyone else, it's like he beat up Mike Perry by decision, knocked out Derek Krantz, knocked out Randy Brown, knocked out Nico Price, submitted Tyron Woodley, but really pretty much knocked him out, and submitted Michael Chiesa. So, I mean, this guy is like just blowing through folks.
Now his last 2 wins are from Darstroke too.
You know? Like, I don't think people are giving this guy enough credit just because he's Gilbert Burns' teammate. He's, you know, maybe he hasn't been fighting the elite levels, and maybe just because of the Wonder Boy Thompson, he lost a little bit of his, you know, luster, his shine. This guy is a problem, dude. He's finishing everyone that he comes up against now. I think it's time for him to either get a Leon Edwards or someone that is big time, because he basically is the only guy that hasn't fought Usman at this point.
Well, let's talk about that then, Blake, because as soon as this fight ended, I went onto Twitter to say, to kind of give my thoughts on who he should fight next. And I know there's all this talk around. They're talking all this smack on Twitter with Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards. But I want guys that haven't fought Kamaru Usman yet. Obviously, that's something we're looking for. I'm not a huge fan of rematches when they're still really good fighters that are right next to that title shot. So, all I'm saying is forget Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards. Give me Vicente Luque and Leon Edwards. I know that they already fought. And Leon Edwards won that fight. But I think this is a different Vicente Luque at this point. And this is the 2 guys I would like to see Kamaru Usman potentially fight after Colby Covington.
What about a game bred? You don't think that would be a...
Okay, hold on. That's a ridiculously good fight. Okay, that's a really exciting fight. But I want to see Vicente get a title opportunity here. I want to see him in the #1 contender spot because I think he has a better chance than a lot of the other people in the division, especially on the ground.
You can still do a Burns and Gamebred. I mean, it just kind of depends what the guys are up for.
Burns and Gamebred would be nice.
I mean, really, any way you match those guys up, it's solid. Besides, obviously, Burns and Luque, since they're teammates.
Yeah, I mean that fight's not going to happen. It's
Don't think so.
So between Burns and Luque, one of them is going to fight Jorge Masvidal, and then one of them is going to fight Leon Edwards. I think
I
that's a
would
move.
think so. I think that would be the move if
Mm-hmm.
unless for some strange reason Leon and Jorge finally want to fight each other. I don't know though.
You know what? No, with the UFC, that's what's going to happen though, right? All I
Maybe
all I know is that Leon Edwards needs one more win over a top 5
a
opponent.
dominant win though.
Yeah.
He needs to have a
Mm,
show.
I don't know if he needs a show necessarily to get a title
He,
shot.
need, he needs a highlight.
All I know, he needs a win over a top 5 fighter, not Nate Diaz or
Well, he
I
just got to
hope.
win over Nate Diaz. You know, he got to win over Nate Diaz. He got a no contest with Bilal.
I
I
said,
mean,
give
none
me
of
a
those
top
are.
5, man. I mean, sorry, Nate Diaz, not a top 5 fighter. Bilal was not a top 5 fighter.
But that was a title eliminator. I mean, if Nate Diaz won that fight, he's gonna get that title. And if Leon Edwards
Yeah,
finished Nate Diaz, I guarantee you he would have got that title shot.
yeah, yeah, that's fair. He just needs a win, right? I don't know if he
He
needs
needs some. He needs some type. I'm telling you, dude. He needs some type of momentum.
well, he needs momentum, but I think just a win, like whether it be decision or a knockout, just a win over Gilbert Burns or Vicente Luque gets him a title shot, no matter what. I don't know if he
Possibly.
has to do it with. I don't know if he has to make it flashy.
I think he does.
You think so?
I really do.
Oh shoot, man! It's all up to Dana White at
He's
this
gonna.
point.
I
Is
mean,
what it
dude,
seems like.
look at the UFC's landscape. Everyone's getting passed up. It doesn't matter what rank you are.
Mm.
It matters. Do you bring eyes to the sport? Do people want to watch you fight? Because that's what the UFC is in here for. They're not for. They're not really for finding out who's the best, 1 through 15 fighter. They're for who's gonna make me the most money right now. That's really it.
That's a fantastic point. That is a fantastic point. Uh, you know, at the end of the story, at the end of the day, the UFC has tons of options that they can do. Welterweight, we'll just kind of have to wait and see which ones they make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, man. Let's talk about that. What we call the main event, the prelims. Bobby Green and Rafael Fiziev. Oh boy, they put on a fantastic show. And then obviously, Fiziev won the first 2 rounds. The third round, where you have Bobby Green out striking Fiziev about 70-35. Two of the judges thought that went to Bobby Green. One of them did not, and that's what kind of we have to talk about here, because Joshua Ferraro, he gave this round 10-9 to Bobby Green, and he kind of had a bit of a long-winded statement. I'm gonna give this guys to you. Some of the quotes that he gave. He said that strikes that are deemed most effective are strikes that have potential to end the fight. Those are the strikes that hold more weight than any other strikes. It doesn't matter if they are punches, kicks, elbows, you name it. We have to assess who is trying to end the fight with their weapons. Those are the strikes that hold the most weight in the criteria. I'm not making this stuff up. It's in the unified rules. Looking at the fight, about 1 minute in, Fiziev landed a shot that, in my opinion, hurt Green. Green played off well by shaking his head no. This is entertaining, I understand, but antics are not scored. Antics are not scored. Toughness is not scored. And he goes on to kind of blame the commentating group of Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz, and John Anik, maybe almost playing up this round. And it shows that he's talking about, well, UFC's looking percentage of strikes landed, not how hard the strikes were. So, I don't know. What do you think about this? Is he onto something?
I mean, I think he makes a decent point. Yeah, but whoever scored I don't know. If he's talking specifically about Fiziev winning the fight, I agree. If
No,
he is
he's talking
talking
specifically about that third round that he scored.
okay, then yeah, if he's talking about the third round, I highly disagree. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's no way in hell Bobby Green lost that round. I mean, he put like triple the output of the guy almost. So the Fiziev, as much as you want to give him props for the first 2 rounds, he was fading in the third round. If that's a 5-round fight, it's going to get
I
interesting,
think
man.
Bobby Green might finish him.
It's going to get interesting. In that fourth round, it's going to get really, really interesting because I don't know how much Fiziev had left in the tank. And obviously, if they know it's a 5-round fight, they probably prepare different and have more in the gas tank and are ready for that.
This is in a vacuum.
Yeah. But in this specific case, if we're going off of just what our eyes see, he was kind of fading a little bit in that third round. So, yeah, I highly disagree with what that judge is saying in the third round. I mean, I don't understand how you could give Fiziev that round.
But just going off of what he said here about Those are the strikes that hold more weight than the other strikes. I'm talking about the strikes that are deemed most effective, have the most potential to end the fight. It's not like Bob Green was just like touching up Fiziev in the third round. He was laying some good shots. If you want to compare significant strikes in that third round too, he probably has the most there. I would at least expect that to be the case. But he's going off and trying to say that some punches have more weight than others, which is something that, yeah, I'd agree with. Mm-hmm. But Fiziev did not land enough of those, let's put in quotes, the weighted punches to really make up for that third round. He didn't.
No, not in that third round. I do remember in the third round, like 1 or 2 times saying like, "Oh wow, he still got the power in the hands." Mm-hmm. But it was so few and far between. It really didn't make a difference. Like in my mind, the power in his hands that he was displaying in that third round saved him from it being a 10-8. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not buying this guy. Also, the judging has just been so crap, especially in Texas or Vegas or New York and New Jersey. I mean, those 4 states, man, just not good judging. And, I mean, obviously, we could say that those states are worse than judging, Vegas especially, because there's a lot more, I guess, data there. There's a lot more cards taking place in those areas. But especially when you got guys like Saldi Amato, if he's scoring your fight, you have to get the finish because you don't want to leave it up to him to score your fight. He's probably going to botch it.
Yeah.
I really think that's the end of it. Probably going to have more of these problems as we go on, but is what it is. But Blake, I just have one thing. I just want to get your thoughts on this. I was trying to see this on Twitter, which of course you follow us at Fourth Long Radio. I think a thing that would be just absolutely fantastic. I'm almost annoyed that it's not a thing yet. Put these judges at post-fight, post-card press conferences, so if they have bad decisions like this, they can't like just save face. They can't just book you out of the arena, maybe put on some interviews or write out some responses like Ferraro did. They should have to answer live to the media after the card and explain their decision.
I wouldn't mind it.
If the fighters have to explain themselves, so should the judges, man.
Yeah, I wonder why they can't do that. I mean, I don't know.
Even
would that
some
be a
refs,
bad look for the sport?
Even some refs go on the press conferences.
I don't know. I don't know why they don't do that. I don't know if they could do that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I just don't know how that would look.
Well, obviously, I don't think they're mandated like the fighters are.
And I don't know like how. I don't know if that would help anything really. I mean,
at least they'd have to answer for it. At least there's accountability there.
I guess, but then at some point, what if it just makes them even more, I don't know, numb to the fact they're just like, well, screw you guys anyway. You hate every decision I make regardless. But who knows? That's just a pessimistic view. Yeah. Don't know. I think the judges need to get, they need to show improvement. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they figure something out. I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. They'll figure something out, hopefully.
Hopefully. I guess we just got to keep our fingers crossed.
I mean, as long as people keep talking about it and it keeps on the front burners, like I'm sure there's going to be some type of measures put in place to try and see if there can be improvement.
I guess the biggest question that in MMA right now is what problem is going to be solved first? Fighter pay or crappy judges? This is going to go on for eternity, but it is what it is, I guess, at this point. But Blake, let's get into the co-main event of the evening. Let's talk Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz. And Jose Aldo is just aging like a fine wine, and he's looked fantastic since making that move down to the bantamweight division. The GOAT of the featherweights might be a fight or two away from a title shot at 135 pounds after he frankly just kind of, I wouldn't say dominates Pedro Munoz, but he definitely handles him in this fight, winning 30-27 across the board, and he clearly won each round. And so this was really great to see, man. Honestly, this is one that I think he attempted the most strikes in his UFC or in his MMA career in this fight. So he just keeps on getting better as time goes on, and he just put on a fantastic performance, and man, I'm excited for his next fight. I'm super excited for his next fight.
TJ Dillashaw is older than Jose?
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Weird, right? Isn't that weird? Hey, that's what EPO does to you, I guess. It just reduces the aging process.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Jose Aldo and TJ fight.
Well, he called him out. Him out.
I really wouldn't mind it. Because I mean, I'm really down for Jose Aldo versus TJ, Jose Aldo versus Dom Cruz, because those are just like legacy
Mm,
fights, you know.
yeah. I don't
And
know.
they're all right there at the same kind of
Maybe
skill
not
level, I
Dom
would say.
Cruz. At
Dom
least on
Cruz
the
is still he's
rankings.
still good though. I mean,
Still good.
he beat Casey Kinney pretty, I wouldn't say dominantly, but he beat him.
Yeah.
He's solid up and coming dude. I mean,
Hmm.
look at the fight against Song Yadong just now.
Exactly.
I mean, and that was a really close fight, honestly. Uh, so yeah. Any of those guys, I'd love to see any of them fight each other.
What,
Even Cruz and TJ again, like all those guys,
what
they're
about these two
legends.
names for Jose Blake? I mean, Jose Aldo versus Rob Font.
That would be a good one too. That would be another one that I'm really interested in. That would be the
Oh, that's so good.
like if it's not if TJ's not willing to fight Jose, I'd
Mm-hmm.
say Rob Font should fight Jose.
Mm-hmm.
And
What would you
TJ probably will not. I'm assuming he's probably just gonna
hold
sit
out?
out.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I believe that he probably is next in line, more than likely, to fight for the bantamweight belt after Piotr Jan probably reclaims it from Aljo in dominant fashion.
Because I mean, seriously, who the hell would want to fight Corey Sandhagen? And TJ like asked for that fight, first fight back, coming off
Mm-hmm.
2 year layoff.
Fights Corey Sandhagen.
That's crazy, man.
Here, Blake, what would you rather see though? Would you rather see Corey Sandhagen and Rob Font, or Jose Aldo and Rob Font, or Corey Sandhagen and Jose Aldo?
Um, I don't know. That's a tough one.
All three. I
Um,
mean, let's just do a round robin with these guys, right? 2 fights a night
do a tournament. That'd be sweet.
for the
Yeah,
number.
dude, they got a predicament with the bantamweight division, but the good thing is I don't think there's any wrong answer.
I think
Like
it's a good predicament to be in.
they're all right. Like I said, they're all right there with each other. And it's really kind of almost like musical chairs, you know.
Would you rather be a matchmaker for the welterweight division or the bantamweight division right now?
Definitely the bantamweight division, because like I said, dude, any fight you put together is gonna be fireworks right now in
Mm-hmm.
bantamweight. I mean, and it's been like that since probably like 2016, 2015.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Like every top 10, top 15 in bantamweight is so deep.
now let's just get Cheeto Vera versus Sugar Sean part two.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm interested to see who's Sean's next opponent. It sounds like he already has it. So,
Mm-hmm. Was he is about to make an announcement on his Twitch stream or something like that?
I don't know how soon he's gonna make an announcement. Because it's slated for December, so
Mm-hmm.
that's quite a ways away.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume maybe in like a
Well,
month
he
and a
has a
half.
December fight.
That's what he's said on his
Okay.
podcasts and other various shows that he does on
I'm
YouTube.
excited for that. I'm excited for that. That'd be a good one, man. But this bantamweight division is just so damn good. And honestly, Jose Aldo has a solid shot at taking the belt.
Not if he fights Jan again. Jan will kill that
I
guy.
don't know. It might be a different fight at this point.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Who's beating Jan in the division right now? Is TJ the answer?
Who's beating Jan?
Yeah.
I thought Corey had a good chance.
Mm.
TJ's gonna be a good fight. Man, I don't know. Jan's mean, dude. He might be able to.
Corey, honestly.
He might be able to finish TJ. Jan might be able to finish TJ.
I'd be
But
kinda happy. I'd be so on board for that.
it'll be really interesting, man. Yeah, I don't know who I take in that fight if they fought. I definitely think he's gonna blow through Aljamain again, though.
Mhm. Oh man,
So.
I don't know. I think this is just gonna be ridiculous. 3 fights that we can make in the double division. And I'm so on board for it. And speaking of championship fights, let's talk about Ciryl Gane and Derek Lewis, because this was for the interim belt. And I don't know, man. I think the difference that one night can make. Like, I wasn't really on the Gane hype train until this fight, because he kind of, I mean, Derek Lewis is a great fighter. He deserves to be a number 2 right now. But he whooped that ass. Gane whooped that ass for 14 minutes of this fight, then landed the knockout. And what's crazy, and all
He made Derek throw almost 1 punch per minute. That's pretty much what Derek threw. I think he threw 16 total strikes in.
And
14.
how many did he land at that point too? Derek Lewis
I'm sorry.
missing.
He landed 16 total strikes through 37. So
That's ridiculous, man.
throwing like 2.5 strikes per minute.
Ciryl Gane's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous for this, man. I mean, come on, dude. Like, this was just almost a perfect performance. And if you look at the stat that Megan Levy actually did this on their broadcast, Gane has never had. He's always been in top position in his entire MMA career, professional career.
He's always been in what?
Top position. No one's ever been on his back, whether on the ground or standing up.
Well, I mean, he's only had like 3 fights.
No, in his MMA career. So now the 10 fights. Thank you very much.
I'm just kidding.
I know you are, but that's ridiculous. He's been in the dominant position every fight of his career, and he really is the next generation of heavyweight MMA fighters. And dude, I wasn't as excited for. I was mostly hoping for Ngannou versus Derek Lewis, but man, this Gane and Ngannou fight is really, really interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I would be more impressed if he had a little bit more a little bigger record, I guess, a little more fights on his resume.
Yeah.
Because 10's just
in MMA it's not that much. Or
it's not that much.
It's not that much.
But I mean, if you go look into his record a little bit, you'll see that he's also undefeated at professional Muay Thai, 13-0 there, I believe.
I think pretty much the same thing for kickboxing too.
Yeah,
but if you look at, I mean, there's one about a 60-day difference between John Jones winning his first title and Ciryl Gane winning his first title. So, it's been done. This has been done quickly before.
It's going to be interesting. Both two guys that came from the MMA factory in France, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Past training partners.
Teammates, man. Dana said you couldn't write it better.
They're going to have to put that all aside, though, and see who's the baddest man on the planet. And I'm telling you, you have to finish Ciryl. You have to finish Gane.
You're not winning a point fight against him.
Yeah, this guy is like a lightweight fighting at heavyweight. The way that he strikes, the way that he moves, the way that he defends, and he mixes everything together. It's flat out unreal what that guy can do in his body. And yeah, I don't know, man. He's awesome. I'm definitely on the hype train now.
All right, so let me know if this is an overreaction or not, Blake, because I definitely was not thinking this before this fight between Gane and Lewis. But is it overreaction to say that Ciryl Gane is the better fighter than Francis Ngannou and is correctly shown on the current odds that he should be the favorite in this fight?
Have we seen... So I'm going to change that question around to kind of give my answers. Like, have we seen Ciryl probably do more with more weapons at his disposal? Yes. Is he as scary as Francis? No. Does he have as much power as Francis? I don't think so, because Francis looks like he hits like a silverback gorilla.
So on roids.
Maybe harder. Who knows?
Maybe a little bit of bath salts is going through that silverback gorilla, man.
So maybe does he have more tools in the tool shed? Possibly. Yeah, I think you could say that. I think he might have a few more ways to beat Francis than Francis might have to beat him. But will he be able to get to that? Will he be able to last, basically, is the question that we're going to be asking. Because I don't think Cyryl's going to be you don't think he's going to try to wrestle Francis, do you? Or do you think he's going to...
Not if you watch his Sipe film, because you remember that, I mean, Ngannou stuffed that one takedown attempt by Sipe and then lit his ass up.
Right.
I don't think you can shoot against Ngannou, man. I don't think you can.
Yeah, man, I really don't freaking know. And the thing that makes it even more hard for people to kind of pick it apart is the fact that they are training partners. Like, are they going to... Or they were training partners, I'm sorry. Are they going to hold back at all? Like, is there going to... Like, not hold back, but I'm saying, are they going to know in their mind, like, oh, he knows what I do?
I think it's almost benefits Gane that they're training partners, and they're kind of like friends, because if you think about this, I was actually... Chael Sonnen first made this point on his YouTube show, and I thought it was a really, really good point, because if you think about it, I mean, he was talking about... So they're friends. I mean... Are you, like, your friend might kick your ass, but are you really afraid of your friend at the end of the day? I don't know. I think he has a lot more confidence and a lot less fear than any other fighter might have against Francis Ngannou, because he knows what Ngannou can do, and he's, like, buddies with Ngannou, so he's almost comfortable being around him. Not a lot of people, like, I know personally, if I was just around Francis Ngannou just standing there, I'd be shaking, man. That dude's scary.
Sure, but he also has never fought him. That's real.
Yeah.
Like, he's never gotten in an actual... I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't really say that. But if the pads are on all that stuff, like that's not a real fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
If the octagon, if they're not in the octagon with the doors locked and 3 or 4 cornermen and a huge crowd, or in the apex with no crowd, it doesn't count, man. That's not a real fight.
Yeah.
So he has like, yes, he will have some comfortability probably,
Mm-hmm.
and know like, hey, yes, I've done rounds with this guy before. I know his power, all that kind of stuff. But until the bullets are flying at you live, you don't know how you're gonna react.
Fair enough, man.
But yeah, I don't see Ciryl getting scared though. That's for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't see that. The way he took out Volkov, the way he took out Derek
The way
Lewis.
he carries himself too, man. He's a tank. He knows it.
Stud, man. He's a stud, dude. He's a freaking gladiator for sure.
That's all there is to it. And then with Derek Lewis, though, do you think he's now competed for 2 UFC heavyweight titles? One was against Daniel Cormier a number of years back, and now this interim belt. Was this the last time we see him in a title fight, or does he still have a chance to maybe make it back?
He's a big name, so he'll probably always have a chance, but I don't think he's ever going to have as good of a run as he just really kind of had. The names that he was taking out on his rise up to this title shot, that knockout over Curtis Blades, I mean, it's going to be really hard to replicate this a third time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. But the way that he knocks people out and gets people talking and has those post-fight interviews, you never know. You never know.
He could have his next fight, whoever it may be. He could land a huge knockout. He'll be right back there.
Yep.
And I mean, speaking of the next fight, though, it's kind of hard to matchmake for Derek just because he's kind of fought and knocked out almost anyone at the top of the division, which is, good for him at least. One guy he hasn't fought yet is Jurizo Rosenstruik, who is near the top of that. Or if there's going to be if here, but if Francis Ngannou loses to Ciryl Gane when they have their title unification bout, possibly Lewis versus Ngannou is still an option there.
I'd rather see Rosenstruik. Sounds cooler to me right now.
Yeah, I'd be a fan of that. Someone's getting their lights put the hell out, hands down.
Yeah,
that'd be a good ass fight. We'd love to hear what you guys think about this. So, can Derek Lewis still contend for a title? Is Ciryl Gane the future of the UFC heavyweight division, or just MMA in general? And what do you think about the early fight predictions for Ngannou versus Gane? But we got a few things to talk about here before we get to the Nene of the week. The first one being that Juliana Pena is calling for a bantamweight interim belt if Amanda Nunes isn't ready by December. So it's been about 20 months now since Amanda Nunes has defended the bantamweight belt. She's defended the featherweight belt a couple of times, but not the bantamweight. Can't really remember though, because there's really hardly been anyone that can actually contend for that. Nunes has said that she'd be ready for a December fight, so it looks like we're still on track for this, and that would make it about 2 years since the belt was last defended. But does Pena have a point here, and is she in the right or wrong for talking about Amanda Nunes like this?
Yeah, she is completely just. I don't know. I want to be nice and not just start using curse words, but yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's really it. I mean, seriously, you look at the top 10 in the bantamweight division.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, she beats all their asses. I mean, she's already beat most of their asses, like Jermaine Durandamy
once or twice.
Holly Holm. The only 2 newcomers are really Aspen Ladd and Irene Aldana that I don't think she's fought yet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Yana and Juliana. So she's getting to you, okay? Now it's your guys' turn. There's no more 145ers left for her to beat up on, so now she's back in the 135. Just relax. Your ass beating will come. I think did she get COVID, or was it her baby? Someone.
I think at least someone in her camp got it.
Something crazy happened.
She might have gotten it.
It'll be good. You're still going to get that title fight.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting that title fight, why are you crying?
Exactly. But she's been talking all this. She's been talking so much smack for someone that's going to come out as huge of an underdog as she is.
She's going to get smoked.
Amanda knew this. It doesn't matter if it was going to be UFC 265 in the co-main. It doesn't matter if it's going to be in December. Amanda Nunes is going to bounce her head off the canvas.
She's going to kill her.
She's going to bounce her. I mean, if you're literally pissing off a lion at this point, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the right strategy. It's a strategy that she's gone with. Has been doing for months now. But I think it's just going to be one huge backfire. There's no way that she even comes close to beating Amanda Nunes.
I like it though because I want Amanda to be mad. I want her to be, or maybe not mad, but just pumped up. I want her to go out there and want to prove a point because I mean a lot of these fights. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these fights, she's going out there and she's like
collecting a
minus 500 favorite, against these scrubs, for lack of a better word. I mean, seriously, like this right here, this division, hers, the 135, 145, Valentina Shevchenko's 125, they're not deep. They don't have a lot of talent in these divisions yet that are on the level of the champions. There's no one that can touch these guys right now. So,
man, Nunes maybe get a little pissed off, and Sean Strickland talking about how he wants to kill someone in the octagon. Let's see Amanda Nunes do that.
Hey man, she damn well could. So could Valentina.
Oh, so can Valentina. But Juliana Pena, essentially just digging her own grave at this point in time. And let's talk about a potential fight here. So a couple potential fights that might be happening. One verbally agreed with, one not even close to being anywhere near completed. But let's talk about Nate Diaz seemingly calling out Conor McGregor on Twitter. Posted a video about Nate Diaz did about Conor McGregor's injury, saying something like, "You should have seen this coming," along those lines. So, is this fight still a must-see? Has it lost some of its maybe glimmer or intrigue? And how bad do you want to see this fight? And is it going to happen? Are we going to get the trilogy between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz?
He also called out Dustin Poirier. I don't know if you caught that too.
He caught that with, both of them kind of talking smack about each other.
And Khabib. So he's called out like he pretty much talked crap on everyone today. I guess
it's a busy day on Twitter. It's a busy day.
Actually, the Khabib stuff was 4 days ago. I take that.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't see the Conor tweet though. No.
Yeah.
And I think he must have deleted that or something, unless it was a reply, because I don't see it on his feed.
Huh. Yeah. No, I definitely saw it. Let's see if it's still bookmarked on my Twitter. Nope, it's not there. It was taken down.
He probably deleted it.
Oh, what does this mean?
I don't know why those guys do. Like Conor, same thing. He'll tweet something crazy and then delete it. Like, dude, everyone can screenshot. Everyone knows how to.
Man, screen records are a thing.
You know how many people have your notification, like subscription or whatever?
Million.
I don't know how you say that. Your notification. Subscribe to your notifications.
Notifications turned on for your tweets.
There you go.
There we go.
You know how many people have that feature turned on for you? Probably a lot.
100,000 at least. I would say 100,000.
Easily. But yeah, I mean, so that fight, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, does it still interest me? Does it still have the intrigue? Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, if you just look, what's a really popular saying, for the fight fans, especially for UFC? Styles make fights. These two styles are just a perfect match for each other in terms of entertainment. Watching MMA, I mean, it's a fist fight. That's really it. There's not going to be too much other aspects going into that. Like they want to punch each other in the face as hard as possible and see who can withstand it. So yeah, I mean, I'm always down to see that fight. The main thing for me is I want Conor to heal up. I want him to not rush back. I want him to be good to go.
I want a good Conor for this fight. For whatever fights next for him.
Because I mean, this is an important fight. I mean, this is going to be Conor's probably out of the running now for title fights and stuff like that, unless he really strings together some impressive performances. So, I mean, really, this Nate Diaz fight might be the most meaningful fight that he has left on the radar right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a legacy fight, definitely a money fight.
Oh yeah, any fight with Conor's a money fight.
So I mean, I think this is one we have to see before Conor McGregor retires.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd absolutely agree. I'd say yes, please.
Just remember,
I would not turn it down.
The first fight of this trilogy, man. Nate Diaz taking this on short notice, coming in, blooding up Conor McGregor, and taking his back and being the first to ever submit Conor McGregor. The first ever. It's ridiculous, man.
I don't think he was the first to submit him, but he was the first to finish him inside the octagon.
Yeah, in the UFC at least.
Because I think some weird random guy submitted him or something really early in his career.
When he was with Cage Warriors?
Yeah. It was like another Irishman, I want to say.
Dylan Dennis?
Jesus Christ.
I'll
tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, it was,
Oh boy.
I want to say Duffy or something like
Speaking of
that.
Dylan Dance, man, he needs to get his
Look
ass
at
off
that.
of
I'm
Instagram
a
comments.
professional, bro. Joseph Duffy, the
You
first,
are a
or
genius.
it was, and actually, that was the second person to submit him. He got submitted twice
I think
early
this
on
was
in
the
his career.
third.
Yeah, he got a knee bar submission from Artemij Stianikov.
Oh,
Don't know how to say that in Cage of Truth.
probably a friend of Khabib.
And then in Cage Warriors 39, he was beaten in the first round in 38 seconds by an arm triangle choke.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, your legacy has been tarnished officially. One of the,
And he never got that win. He never got either of those wins back. That's crazy.
he probably booked to the UFC before. I don't blame him. Obviously, we saw what happened
No, I mean
there.
he still had let's see, 8 more fights.
Wow, I honestly I didn't know he had that many fights in Cage Warriors.
Yeah, dude, he was 2-1 at one point, and then that loss to Joseph Duffy, he was 4-2, and then he got all the way up to 12-2 before he got recruited to the UFC. And then he went on the, I think, like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight win streak until Nate Diaz beat him.
Right. Hey,
And
all I'm
now
saying,
he's
it's just a huge fight, man. Honestly, I would love to see this. But Blake, bringing the facts onto UFC talk, you gotta love it. But the last bit of news we want to talk about is another fight that at least has been reportedly agreed to verbally, and that's between Jon Jones and Sipe Miyoche. Of course, this fight would have been a lot bigger about a year ago, but is what it is at this point, I guess. But do you think this actually went down? And then how much are you still like putting into this fight? Is it still as exciting? It's still going to be the light heavyweight goat against the heavyweight goat. Just no title on the line. Probably is definitely a title eliminator though. What do you think about this?
I think it's kind of a missed opportunity by the UFC a little bit. But it's still going to be a sick fight. The only thing, I guess you can't really say it was a missed opportunity because I don't think Jon Jones was ready. I don't think he was ready a year ago. And I think he would be the first to admit that because he's obviously been going through a rigorous, strength and conditioning program to get up to the weight that he sees as most, whatever weight he wants to fight at format, that's what he's targeting. And I think that's what he's been working towards. At least that's my opinion. That's what I think. So yeah, I think this is really the only time this fight could have gone down. And yeah, I think it's still going to be intriguing. I think people are still going to be really interested in seeing this fight. But yeah, the fact that it doesn't really have anything on the line, I guess makes it not as big of a deal.
Early prediction though with this one, man. Who wins?
I think the hardcore fans are still going to be super, salivating at the mouth for this, basically.
Hands down. Hands down.
And I don't know, man. I think Stipe, I'm going to have to go with Stipe just because he's been the best at heavyweight. It's his division, still, in my opinion.
I don't know what we're going to get from Jon Jones either.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Jon Jones is going to have more weight on. Is he going to still have his speed? Is he still going to be as sharp as he was at light heavyweight?
With light heavyweight, do you really have like a speed advantage in most of his fights?
Dude.
Maybe enough for that to carry over to the heavyweights is much. You think?
Yeah, I mean, not only just his speed, but just his variety of different striking and
that's what
movement.
I think that's what actually
mixing everything together.
I think it's his variety of striking that caused the most problems for people because his elbows, of course, his knees, leg kicks from distance, from close. I mean, he throws one of the people that could actually throw a question mark kick and convincingly look like he's going to land it. Spinning heel kicks. This dude hits you with everything.
Yeah, and I'm not even specifically saying that he was one of like the fastest people in light heavyweight. I'm just saying, is he going to lose speed from his striking? Is he going to lose speed in his, in his movement? Like
he's not going to have his reach advantage anymore because that was huge for him in light heavyweight.
Yeah, he's always been the physical specimen. Now he's going up to a division where
is he average?
Freak. Yeah. I don't know. I think he's just going to be another guy up there because what is he like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah, so I mean I think he's just a guy up there. I think he's like the prototype size, but he's not going to, like I said, he's not going to be that dominant physical freak. He's not going to be that 6'7" Volkov towering over guys able to piece anyone up from the outside. But he is going to be well-rounded and battle ready. He's championship material, so he's fought the best pretty much every fight in his career at UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can't really count him out ever.
Yeah, and given like obviously it's easy to look over it in this part of his game because of his amazing striking, but Jon Jones has really solid wrestling. Sipe, he has really solid wrestling. So I think this is a fight that ends up on the feet still. So that's really exciting to me. And Sipe is one of the most technical heavyweights that we've ever seen. I mean, Stipe didn't win the belt and then defended 3 consecutive times because of his power. Okay? I mean, no one's ever thought that Stipe was a power of a specimen. Dude pieces you up, and he lands the right shots at the right time at the right places. So, I think it'd at least be a technical masterclass of a heavyweight fight. Might not be a slugfest, might not be a brawl, but man, would it be amazing to see.
I agree.
Oh, man. Shoot. Hey, play that for UFC, man. I just promoted the shit out of this, or we just promoted the shit out of this fight, man. We need it. We need it, and we need it bad. But ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about that. But we're going to head on to the last segment of the show, man. I really feel like this has flown by. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
We're already ending. Huh.
Time flies when you're having fun, man.
Hey, it's always fun, and I'm glad that hopefully everyone listening to this is having a great time right now, at least as good as a time as Blake and I, because Mondays are always the worst, the hardest days of the week. So when we get to this, and we have a lot of fun talking MMA here, but we're gonna wrap things off with, of course, none other than the Nene of the week. And this is a little bit more of a general one, and maybe it wasn't as bad at UFC 265 as the other pay-per-views, but we gotta talk about, I mean, there's always one fighter at these pay-per-views that gets badly injured. It's been going on since UFC 261 now. So in UFC 261, of course, Chris Weidman broke the hell out of his leg. Fortunately, he had to go into a second surgery too, so I hope everything goes well for him. And I think Bilal Muhammad pointed this out that... or at least someone did on Twitter, it might have been Bilal, but was kind of suggesting that Weidman should be at the UFC desk, like the pre-fight and during the fight analysis, kind of like what Michael Chiesa and Michael Chandler have been doing. I think that'd be great. I mean, I just tangent. We'll love to see that. And of course, UFC 262, Jacare Souza got his arm snapped, and that looked awful. UFC 263, Jamal Hill looked like he had his arm snapped. Luckily, it's just a dislocated elbow. But yeah, that thing just flopped in there in the wind. It looked really bad. Of course, UFC 264, Conor McGregor broke his leg, or Dustin Poirier broke Conor McGregor's leg, whichever storyline you want to go with. And now at UFC 265, in the early prelims, Victoria Leonardo had her arm broken by Melissa Gatto, and the fight was stopped due to that. Of course, it wasn't as of a gruesome injury as some of the other ones. But if you looked at that arm, that forearm looked jacked up after that fight. A lot of credit for her for wanting to still fight, for being as devastated that the fight was called at that point. But I mean, the ref and the doctor made the right decision there. But man, I mean, a lot of credit to her. But oh boy, it's a dangerous game we're playing. I mean, I know MMA is already dangerous, but there's this kind of streak going. I mean, watch out for these UFC 266 fighters.
Right? You gotta be careful, man. You better be drinking that milk.
Hey, get that calcium going. It's almost like hey, screw being on a pay-per-view, man. Let me just get like the headliner, one of the top spots on the fight night, man. These things are happening there.
Yeah, there's no curses on the fight nights, So I think that's probably the safer bet right now.
Right? At this point, not looking good for that stuff. But that's going to do it. I mean, Victoria Leonardo takes home the Nene of the week. Obviously, it wasn't her fault, but she's just keeping on this long streak of injuries, and that's never good. Not hoping for this, but it is what it is. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us on episode 56 of UFC Talk. Let us know your thoughts and comments on any one of these topics, whether it be on you share with us on Twitter at Fourth and Long Radio, at Instagram at Fourth and Long Radio, or best of all, you can leave a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts. Of course, links to all of this are over at thefourthandlong.com, or for all of your UFC and MMA content, thefourthandlong.com/UFC. But Blake, your thoughts about UFC 265 In one word or phrase.
Yeah, I was like, you can't trick me and do
No,
the
I
card
can't
coming
go
up this
forward.
weekend.
There isn't one.
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know. One fight or one word that comes to mind, probably just I don't know. I don't have a one word thing. One word's hella hard, dude, because I have so much stuff that
Well,
goes
do
through
the
my
phrase then. Give me a phrase.
The Black Beast got beasted, bro.
The Black Beast got beasted, Blake. You got some gold right there. I do love that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Beast got beasted, quoted by UFC fourth long. Oh, I just messed that one up, didn't I?
That's good.
You know
UFC correspondent.
UFC correspondent for Fourth Long Radio. Go check out our interview with Raymond
Subscribe
Lovely.
to Patreon. Don't be a bitch. Give me some money. Let's go.
Just do all of that, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your Saturday without fights. I hope you get through it. And we'll see all of you guys on Tuesday leading up to Kelvin Gastelum in Jared Cannonier.